When we say 64 colors, as you all know, 64 in number. But what is a kala? So kala has got different meanings in different connotations. Okay, they include the digit of a moon, the fraction of a time, the rise of a sun, and of course the general meaning of kala, what we understand today and what we call it today or remain today, is nothing but an art. Kalas reflect the culture and civilization of any country. We all know Kalas reflect the culture of civilization of any country. We can give number of examples, right from Indus Valley civilization, the Mohenjo-daro civilization, and we found the beautiful dancing sculpture of a woman. And we also know the kind of architecture that was built during the Indus Valley civilization, the beautiful civil engineering structures, which stand as a testimony even today. Not only from India, I'm talking in general. You can talk about the Egyptian pyramids. You can talk about the Greece and Athens structures, massive structures, the open-air theatres. It is kala, that which remains forever, that which is dynamic forever. In Hindu Vedas, 64 kalas are described as essential art forms and techniques that should be mastered by an individual to lead a successful life. The 64 kalas can be divided into 4 main categories. Kala Jnana, that gives you knowledge about that particular art form. Kala Shastra, the skillful arts, just like carpentry or iconography, the sculpture and everything. Kala Rupa, visual arts, and Kala Kriya, the ritualistic arts. So all the 64 kalas share the same goal, which is to create harmony between the divine and the human. These art forms and techniques are not only used to create beautiful works of art, but also to bring balance, harmony, and peace to the individual. By praying the goddess of knowledge, Saraswati, goddess of all the kalas, Saraswati, I would like to start my presentation on the 64 kalas, the ancient heritage that we have today. Let us try to understand the meaning of kala first of all. When we say 64 kalas, as you all know, 64 in number. But what is a kala? So kala has got different meanings in different connotations. Okay, they include the digit of a moon, the fraction of a time, the rise of a sun, and of course, the general meaning of kala, what we understand today and what we call it today or remain today, is nothing but an art. The term kala denotes the time measure. It is said that 1/16th fraction of the time is called as kala. So when we talk about the new moon day to the Paurnami day, or from the Paurnami to the Amavasya day, every day, the 16 days, when you try to classify them under the time fraction, every day is called as 1/16th kala. The fraction is called as 1/16th of kala. That is the reason the lunar calendar, what we talk about, the tithis, Padyami, Vidya, Tadya, Chaviti, Panchami, Sashti, Saptami, Ashtami, all these are all called as the fractions of the time measure, and we call them as kalas. And every day the moon is called as Chandra Kala. The moon, the transition is called as Chandra Kala. And also, when we talk about the time measurement, it is also understood that in Lalita Sahasrama, the goddess is also compared with the Kala, Kasta, Nimeshika. All these are also falls under the time measurement. When we talk about the Kala in the perspective of art, we also praise goddess, calling that Kalavati, Kalalapa, Kanta, Kadambari, Priya. Kalavati means she is well versed with all the 512 arts. She is well versed with all the kalas, and she is the authority on all the kalas. Of course, when we describe about one single kala from these things, later the aestheticians have enumerated them into 64 kalas. In the Sanskrit dictionary, when you look at the term kala, we have got an etymological meaning. So the derivation of the etymological meaning depends on the sutra that has been applied, the Vidpatti artha that has been applied to term kala. Kam sukham lati iti kala. That means that which brings us joy is called as kala. Any art form gives us joy. Kala is derived from the root word kal. Kal means, again, the definition for the term kal in Sanskrit is Sankhyayane Gatau Kshepe, says the Amara Kosa, which is a dictionary meant for Sanskrit literature and terminology. Kalyate Sankhyayate iti kalaha. Sankhyayana means something to be known. When you say something, it should be understood by the other person. It is called as Sankhya. And here also, we to give you a best example for the term Sankhya, when Bhagavan Sri Krishna was revealing the truth of or the righteousness of a warrior to Arjuna, that he has to fight despite the opponents are his own relatives. When Arjuna failed to fight in the war, Krishna has pronounced Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, saying that he revealed that this is the dharma, this is the righteous thing that a warrior has to do. That means Sankhya Yoga, that is called as Sankhya Yoga, which is something delivered to the other person. Sankhya means to reveal something, to know something, to communicate something, and all this is connected with an understanding. Gata means that which is dynamic. Gati means the dynamism, the movement. Chalanam, that means it is ever changing, ever evolving. It is like a perennial flow. Art is never confined to one particular era or one particular design or something. As you see, there are so many variations in the architecture or in the drawing styles or whatever art form that you see, even the culinary skills, you find them a lot of difference. Every day it is evolving. Every second it is evolving. So the Gata, the very characteristic of art form is it is ever changing, and it has got an intelligent element. It has got an educative element, a communicative element. And kshepe means thrown into ecstasy. Whatever that you have told to the other person, induced knowledge, and that which is dynamic, that which has got an educative element, should also throw a person into ecstasy. That means even the receiver should perceive it in the same manner that it has been communicated. So it provides an aesthetic pleasure to the viewers, to the connoisseurs, I must say. So in the etymology itself, we have so many layers of meaning to the word kala. In the Ekakshara Kosa dictionary, Ekakshara means for each and every single syllable that we have in Sanskrit or in Telugu or any other Indian languages, it has got an Ekakshara dictionary. For each and every syllable, we have a totally different meaning. So if you talk about the Ekakshara Kosa, the letter Ka means, or it symbolizes the creator Brahma. That means we are employing a divine origin to all these colors. They are not just born like that. It has got a divine origin for that. Then how do we human beings are bestowed with the colors? The Shastra says one has to pass on the three stages, that is Pratibha, Vidpatti, and Sadhana. What is the Pratibha? Pratibha is nothing but inherently a person would get introduced to the arts. He is a born artist, be it in music or a dance or painting or whatever it is. They have got their skill by birth itself, by the virtue of the good deeds that an individual has done in his previous janmas. He is well versed with that particular kala. That we call it under the term Pratibha. And then what is Vidpatti? Vidpatti is the acquired knowledge of an individual, maybe by doing this Sustrusha to the Guru, maybe by discussing with the friends, maybe by observing others doing something, and learning from a Guru, learning from YouTube, if you have to talk from the contemporary society. So he would acquire those skills. That is called as Vidpatti. This Vidpatti and the Pratibha has to be perfected through sadhana. Unless one practices, as we all know, the saying goes, practice makes man perfect. So the sadhana, that makes the individual to perfect himself in any of the kalas. To sum up the entire characteristics of kala, it is the creativity of the human beings, and the dynamism talks about the propagation of the art, and finally, the enjoyment that connoisseurs receive and relish. So to create an art, and also to understand an art form, the intelligence, interest, mood, and the individual's uninterrupted focus and concentration are also required. So what are the characteristics of an art form? Art does not diminish by sharing. So some of the people do have a feeling that, if I share this, I'm going to lose my idea. I'm going to let me return it to me. People are being so selfish. That is not the characteristic of art. You have to share it. Any knowledge has to be shared. You cannot, encapsulate for yourself. That will go die, and that will die along with you, isn't it? So it allows the Kanashias to forget himself and allows him to unite with the universal energy. After all, what is the ultimate goal or purpose of an art form? It is to realize the ultimate, not to make money or to get some awards and all. I understand, according to the Maslow's theory, we think of pleasing our own sociological needs or self accomplishments and other things, but self-actualization, realizing the ultimate, realizing the actual pleasure that one can get is by only realizing the ultimate through the kala. We have so many people, Tyagaraja, Suradasu, Nada Tanumanisam, through singing, they have realized the Paramat. Nidhi Chala Sukama, Sannidhi Chala Sukama. We have seen people just ignored all the wealth that was sent by the kings, and they concentrated only upon Ram. Tyagaraja, Annamacharya, there are Purandara Suradasu, Kabir Dasu. You name any devotee of the God, they believed only in God and the Kala, the singing or the dancing, whatever it is. Even Chaitanya Prabhu, as a matter of fact. So, when once we know the value of Kala, one has to live for the sake of art, but not, making it commercial thing. Right? Kala means an entertainment for some. Kala means a creative force. Kalaiti means he is creating in Sanskrit. Kalas reflect the culture and civilization of any country. We all know Kalas reflect the culture of civilization of any country. We can give number of examples, right from Indus Valley civilization, the Mohenjo-daro civilization, and we found the beautiful dancing sculpture of a woman. And we also know the kind of architecture that was built during the Indus Valley civilization, the beautiful civil engineering structures, which stand as a testimony even today. Not only from India, I'm talking in general. You can talk about the Egyptian pyramids. You can talk about the Greece and Athens structures, massive structures, the open air theaters, everything. It is Kala, that which remains forever, that which is dynamic forever. From taking a cue from the existing architecture, so much have been improved so far. So the basic idea of Kala is, that talks about the country and the civilization. Moving on to with that introductory words, let me tell you what are the 64 kalas. In Hindu Vedas, 64 kalas are described as essential art forms and techniques that should be mastered by an individual to lead a successful life. The 64 kalas can be divided into 4 main categories. Kala Jnana, that gives you knowledge about that particular art form. Kala Shastra, the skillful arts, just like carpentry or, iconography, the sculpture and everything. Rupa Kala, Kala Rupa, visual arts, and Kala Kriya, the ritualistic arts. So all the 64 kalas share the same goal, which is to create harmony between the divine and the human. These art forms and techniques are not only used to create beautiful works of art, but also to bring balance, harmony, and peace to the individual. Before I start enumerating all the 64 kalas, I would like to make a disclaimer that the 64 kalas, what I'm going to enumerate now and give you the details, are from Vatsyayana's Vatsyayaniam, or otherwise called as Vatsyayana Kamasutras. Along with the Vatsyayana, there are a couple other aestheticians who have enumerated all these 64 kalas. Surprisingly, the number of kalas were mentioned as 64. But when you look at the description or the nomenclature of the kalas, I think up to 54 to 56 kalas are common, even the nomenclature. But 10 are different here and there with the different nomenclature, and even the kalas were totally different. But for you to have an understanding, here today I'm going to present all the 64 kalas enlisted by Vatsyayana in his Vatsyayana Kamasutras. There are Ramachandra, Gunachandra, Hemachandra, Rajashekara, Prasad Sudhakara, Singabhupala, King Someswara from Chalukya dynasty. All these people have enumerated the 64 kalas. As I told you earlier, 10 are different, but rest 54 are the same. Okay, let's now try to understand the 64 kalas. The first one is Gita Vidya, the art of singing. In Samaveda, we find the origin of Indian music. The Sofa system, music was found in Samaveda. It started with a single swara, which is called as Ekaswara. Then we moved on to Dviswara, then to Triswara, Chatuswara, Pancha, Shak, and finally we have settled in Saptaswaras that are prescribed in the Samaveda. The songs sung in villages and the forests are called are Uha and Uhya. The Gita Vidya includes the composition, the tuning, rhythm, the time pattern, the rendition of singing, says Yashodhara in his commentary on Vatsyayana's Kamasutra. Of course, in 21st century, the music is classified into Marga and Desi, Janapada, Lalita Sangeetam, Cinema Sangeetam, Natya Sangeetam. Several other genres were there, but earlier it was Uha and Uhya. Then Marga and Desi was classified by Sarangadeva in his Sangeeta Ratnakara, and also in Sangeeta Damodara, one of the musicians have classified them under Marga and Desi. And this includes not only the Saptaswaras, it also includes the Padyams, that is the poems, the verses, the Sanskrit verses, slokas, Gadyam, Churnika, and there are several other styles of singing, like, the compositions, I mean to say. When you talk about the Desi literature, we have Churnika, Mangala, Dhavala, Elalu, Rekulu, Arthachandrikalu. Like that, the list is never ending. It goes on, it goes on, it goes on. Just like I said, it is a dynamic art form, ever changing, ever evolving, ever creative. So each individual with their creativity had added a corpus of music to the Gita Vidya. Vadya Vidya is art of playing musical instrument. As you know, there are 4 types of musical instrument that exist now. Tatanchaiva avanathancha ghanam sushiramevacha, says Bharata in his Natya Shastra. Tatam means the tantri vadya, the string instruments. Avanatha is the percussion instrument. Mridangam, tabala, chanda, prachanda, jazz, all this comes under the percussion instrument. Tatam, the tantri, guitar, veena, violin, all these are called as string instruments. Sushira are the wind instruments, flute, shehnai, mouth organ, all this falls under the category of the Sushira Vadya. And finally, the Ghana. Ghana is made up of the metallic instruments like the cymbals, the bhajana, and the ganta, the gajjalu, all this comes under the Ghana Vadya, right? So these are the 4 types of musical instruments that we find right from the ancient period. Until now, we couldn't add anything other than the electronic gadgets. Right? And the 3rd category is Nritya Vidya, and the 4th one is Natya Vidya. So you will be wondering what is Nritya and what is Natya. Those who attended my previous session would know what is Nritya and Natya. But for those who have joined afresh in this session, Nritya is Rasabhava Vyanjanadi Yuktam Nrityam iti iryate. That means through the dance, one should able to emote the sentiments, feelings, and emotions among the spectators. One should able to express them at the same time, able to emote the same emotions among the spectators. Such art form is called as Nritya Vidya. Natya Vidya is art of theatricals. So Natya, the definition of Natya goes like this. Natyam tan natakam chaiva pujyam purvakadhaitam. Natya has got an element of drama, dramaturgy, music, dance, and the Purvakatha. Purvakatha means it should consist a story which has already happened, probably from our mythology or epics or Puranas, and that should have a drama in it. Such performance is called as Natya. The 5th one in the order is Alekya Vidya, the art of painting. The concept of Tvashta and the Vishwakarma speaks about the origin of arts like painting, sculpture, architecture from the Vedic literature, and some of the epics. The painter or the creator who models the buildings, beautiful sculptures, paintings is called as Tvashta. So Tvashta is the one who creates all these blueprint sketches and everything, and later on, based on that blueprint, he would develop into a beautiful art form. Now here and there, I just added some of the slides for you to understand. Here you can see a percussion instrument, the dance, and here you can see the gajjalu or the ghana type of musical instrument, and this is a string instrument. Again, this is a string instrument, and you can see a harmony which is also categorized under the wind instrument. So you have music and dance all together in one single slide. 6th one is Aiseshika Chedya Vidya. So this is also called as Visheshika Chedya Vidya in some of the texts, and some texts it is written as Aiseshika Chedya Vidya. This is nothing but the painting the face and the body with the color. And this is also called as Patra Chedyam. This is like, taking the Bhurja Patra leaves and, grind them into a beautiful paste. And with that paste, they will apply a lot of designs on the hand. This is called as a Aiseshika Chedya Vidya. So for this generation to understand, this is like the modern day tattoos. So of course, this started with the tilaka on the forehead also. So when we talk about the Aiseshika Chaitya Vidya, it is the beautiful tilakam that we apply, the vermilion that we apply, the beautiful designs for gopi. I think during Rasalila or the Garbha dance, we see ladies decorating themselves with the beautiful tattoos and with the beautiful tilakams. Different shapes of designs of tilakam are drawn on different people, like flowers, shapes, trisulam, the vertical lines, the horizontal lines, depending upon the Vaishnavism and the Saivism, the circle, the drop, water drop, kind of the dewdrop shaped tilakam and all. So it all depends on the kind of creativity. For the Nagaloka verses, they draw a beautiful snake. In movies, for all the kingly persons, they used to draw a crescent on their forehead. So it is a symbolic representation that he would belong to kingly division or class of the society, right? Kshatriya. So these are some of the things. You can see a beautiful tilakam on his forehead, and paint is applied on his face. Of course, this is again from Kathakali dance form, which has got a totally different resemblance. They have red, green, yellow, and blue colors they apply on the body, each color representing each personality. Like, green is employed for a heroic personality like Rama and all. Similarly, red color is used for protagonist, antagonist actually. So showcasing the valor and, the kind of raudra that he has got. And yellow color is applied for almost heroine, like, for female artists. And this is the tilakam that is applied for dances. The next one in the order is Tandula Kusuma Balivikara Vidya. So the art of preparing offerings of rice and flowers. So drawing different designs on the floor like present day Muggulu. Like the Kerala Onam festival, the decorations with the different colors of flowers, designs, creating a mandala, etc. is called as Tandula Kusuma Balivikara. So this concept of mandala has got another important feature in our Hindu rituals, wherein mandala is a prescribed area wherein this muggulu either with colors or the flowers are made, and we invoke a particular energy and we request that energy to reside in that particular mandala area till our ritual is completed. So during the Satyanarayana Vratam and all, we draw different kind of mandalas, and we invoke Ashtadikpalakas, Panchaloka Palakas, all these people, Navagrahas, and we request that particular energy to reside in that particular place till the ritual is over. So this is how the Tandula Kusuma Balivikara Vidya is employed. And according to the regional practices that we have, just like I was mentioning about the Onam festival, or even during the Sankranti festival, you can see ladies, they make beautiful designs. And during Diwali also, right? Pushpastarana is the eighth one, art of making a covering of flowers for a bed. This is performed mostly in temples to make the deity sleep as a Visesha Archana. As you all know, right from waking up the Lord till the time we make him go to the bed, there are several upacharas. There are almost all 64 upacharas again offered to the God by the Devadasis or the Pujaris. But unfortunately, those 64 also, we have narrowed down them to Shodas Upacharas, that is the 16 Upacharas. And still, Pavalimpu Seva is also there, one among them. The Pavalimpu Seva has got a beautiful meaning. And this reminds me of one of the Annamacharya Kirtana, where this Unjala Seva, he would make the Lord sleep on the bed and he would swing the Lord and sing a beautiful song saying that it's a lullaby actually. Alarachalamaina Atmanandundani Alavatu Chesene Uyada Paluvaru Uchwasa పవనముందుండని భావము తెలిపెనే ఉయ్యాల ఉయ్యాల ఉయ్యాల. How beautifully Annamacharya has written that lullaby, I tell you. The swing of the cradle, he's comparing to the oscillation of his thoughts, to the divine and to the mundane life, to the divine and the mundane life. That mind's oscillation has been compared to the swing So beautifully has compared. And you can see the Kusuma Bali Vikarana here. And this is one of the mandala that what I'm talking about. The ninth one is Dasana Vasana Angaraga. Do not get, confused with all these things. That has got three parts in this. Dasana, Vasana, Anga, Raga. Dasana is nothing but the teeth. That means whitening our teeth, polishing our teeth, making them bright and everything. Okay. So we think that, the dentists have created all these things today. This art has been in existence from 5,000 years back, imagine, right? And Vasana is nothing but the clothing, right from collecting the yarn and dyeing it and weaving them into a beautiful cloth. That includes the Vasana. So when I talk about the Vasana, one has to know about the different kinds of sources that we have to collect this yarn. Today we talk about nylon, polyester, whatnot. But in earlier days, what are the different kinds of yarn that they have used to weave these clothes? This includes kauseya. Kauseya is nothing but the silk one. Kauseya is nothing but a cocoon. The yarn that is drawn from a cocoon, the silkworms cocoons, basically. So we call it as a sericulture, right? We develop those sericulture and we draw the yarn, silk from it, and we make some beautiful silk sarees. Pita is the color. And the third one is Rankava. Rankava is drawn from animals, wool drawn from the animals. Ranku Irri is the animal. So in olden days, from the Ranku Irri, basically from the Himalayan region where you have a sheep and Ranku Irri, several other animals which has got a lot of fur on their body, they used to draw the wool from them and they used to prepare clothes. Valkala is a tree bark. So that tree bark, they soak it in the water for a couple of days, and when it is softened, they beat the bark with something very hard, and they take out the yarn from it, and with that yarn, they weave the clothes. And Valkala is also called as Nara Vastram, which normally we hear in Ramayana before leaving on exile, Rama and Sita, they were supposed to wear this Nara Chira and Nara Vastram. That is nothing but the Valkala. And the fourth one is cotton. As you all know, we draw cotton yarn from the cotton buds, right? And the fifth one is leather. Of course, we also know from the deer skin, buffalo skin, and elephant skin, they used to prepare some of the something to cover their upper body, like Shiva wears a Gajacharma, right? So in brief, it deals with the textiles, Vasana. Anga means the applying colors on the body, maybe lipstick, parani, nail paint, all this comes under the Angaraga. Here you can see Dasana Vasana Angaraga, how the silk yarn was drawn, and they're dyeing it. They're applying colors to the yarn collected. Manibhumika Karma, the art of making the groundwork of jewels. This means decorating the floor with different jewels like mosaic floor, today's mosaic floor, to keep it cool in all seasons and to embellish the floor too. And this is the design mosaic flooring for those who are new to this one. And when you talk about the foreigners who has visited the Vijayanagara Empire, Abdul Razak has quoted in his book The Forgotten Empire. There he described about the Vijayanagara king's Krishnadevaraya's palace, which is embedded with so many jewels, I tell you. And we lost all of them, of course. So that remained in history. And even this Manibhumika Karma, we are now living with the mosaic flooring. That's okay, fine. So Sayya Rachana is nothing but art of covering the bed, preparing the bed like the present day housekeeping, mosquito nets, spreading the bed sheets, and arranging the aromatic ambience and everything. So fundamentally, it is like keeping the premises clean, carpets and beds ready to use. So this particular art, we call it as Sayya Rachana. So instead of making a Sayya Rachana a daily routine, they made it into a kala. Like they made it so beautiful that one would really feel like sleeping on that. That is, we call it as kala. Udakavadya, the art of playing music on water-filled vessels. Arrangement of these vessels in an appropriate order, produce the required sound or the pitch, the proper tune, etc. can be taken care of. This is called as Udakavadya. So you can see Udakavadya is one is the metallic containers and the other one is ceramic containers filled with water. This is a metallic container but not filled with water. The Udakavadya is the ceramic pots where you fill in water. Udakagata is art of splashing with the water. They used to create music out of splashing the water. Just imagine the kind of expertise those people do have, creating a perfect pitch and tune by just splashing on the water. Right? Chitra Yoga, the art of practically applying an admixture of color and the disguise like monkey, tiger, and everything, entertaining the public with wonderment. During the Dasara period, most of us must have witnessed the Pulivesham, or they enacting like a peacock sometimes. The swift movements of the hands and legs, high jumps, leaps, the galloping, Katputli, isn't it? So, which finds humanly impossible moments, they just turn them into a beautiful art form. So, this is the body paint, and here you can see people would jump and leap just like tigers and enacting the movements of tigers like that.